Hanon is a highly polarizing work. For some people, it's a reviled prescription of how piano ought to be practiced. For some, it can be a helpful tool for developing dexterity and technique. The question is, who is right? Is Hanon helpful, or is it hogwash? From my experience, it can be helpful, but you have to approach it the right way. So before we even get to any music, we have to read this preface. The study of the piano is nowadays so general, and good pianists are so numerous that mediocrity on this instrument is no longer endured. In consequence, one must study the piano 8 or 10 years before venturing to perform a piece of any difficulty, even at a gathering of amateurs. Now, how few persons are in a position to devote so many years to this study. It often happens, therefore, that for want of sufficient practice the playing is uneven and incorrect. The left hand gives out in passages of slight difficulty. The fourth and fifth fingers are almost useless for a lack of special exercises for these fingers, which are always weaker than the rest. And when passages in octaves, in tremolo, or trills occur, they are usually executed only by dint of exertion and fatigue, so that the performance is very incorrect and wholly wanting in expression. For several years, we have labored to overcome this state of affairs, making it our aim to unite in one work special exercises which render possible a complete course of pianistic study in far less time. To attain this end, it sufficed to find the solution of the following problem. If all 5 fingers of the hand were absolutely equally well trained, they would be ready to execute anything written for the instrument, and the only question remaining would be that of fingering, which could be readily solved. We have found the solution of this problem in our work, The Virtuoso Pianist, in 60 exercises, etc. In this volume will be found the exercises necessary for the acquirement of agility, independence, strength, and perfect evenness in the fingers, as well as suppleness of the wrists, all indispensable qualities for fine execution. These exercises are interesting and do not fatigue the student like the generality of 5-finger exercises, which are so dry that one requires the perseverance of a true artist to summon up courage to study them. These exercises are written in such a manner that after having read them a few times, they can be played in quite a rapid movement. They thus become an excellent practice for the fingers, and one loses no time in studying them. If desired, any of these exercises may be played on several pianos simultaneously, rousing a spirit of emulation among the students and habituating them to ensemble playing. All descriptions of difficulties will be met with. The exercises are so arranged that in each successive number the fingers are rested from the fatigue caused by the one preceding. The result of this combination is that all mechanical difficulties are executed without effort or weariness, and after such practice the fingers attain to astonishing facility of execution. This work is intended for all piano pupils. It may be taken up after the pupil has studied about a year. As for more advanced students, they will study it in a very short time and will thereafter never experience the stiffness which may have been previously felt in fingers or wrists. This will render them capable of surmounting the principal mechanical difficulties. Pianists and teachers who cannot find time for sufficient practice to keep up their playing need only to play these exercises a few hours in order to regain all the dexterity of their fingers. This entire volume can be played through in an hour, and if, after it has been thoroughly mastered, it be repeated daily for a time, difficulties will disappear as if by enchantment, and that beautiful, clear, clean, purling execution will have been acquired, which is the secret of distinguished artists. Finally, we offer this work as giving the key to all mechanical difficulties. We therefore consider that we are rendering a real service to young pianists, to teachers, and to the directors of boarding schools in proposing their adoption of our work, The Virtuoso Pianist. So we should clear up some misconceptions here. Overall, based on this preface, it seems that Hanon operates under the notion that weakness in the fingers causes difficulty in piano playing for newcomers. This simply isn't true. Our fingers and arms already possess way more strength than is necessary to play even the most difficult passages. Hanon would have you play these exercises continuously, without stopping, which you should never do unless you want to risk injuring yourself, in the hopes that your fingers would get stronger. After doing enough dexterity exercises, your fingers might feel stronger, but this is simply because of increased blood flow, not because your fingers have developed muscle. Then we get to this first exercise, which everyone knows. There's 59 more, just like this one. For example, so right off the bat, we have a few issues. For one, every single exercise is in C major. These exercises, as they come, will do nothing to prepare you for playing in other keys. As it is, Hanon only has you working on the white keys. This facilitates mindless practice. You're not really engaged in what you're doing, so you tune out and the practicing becomes pointless. Another issue, the hands always mirror each other. So these exercises are all in C major and they do nothing to help your hand independence. So to deal with the issue of everything being in C major, let's just go ahead and change the key to, say, E flat major. We've now made this exercise immensely more useful. However, this can create a difficulty spike for beginner pianists. They're not used to changing keys like this, and the transposing might just be a bear. Which takes me to the next Hanon amendment. Repeat each cell a few times. We see this kind of repetition in some Hanon exercises, but it's also helpful in earlier exercises just to get your fingers used to the keyboard. Once you've repeated a cluster of notes a few times, move on to the next one until you get comfortable with that, and so on. The more you repeat a group of notes, the more confidently you'll be able to play them without thinking twice about it. You can turn Hanon into an independence exercise by having each hand play at a different tempo or a different rhythm. Or different keys. It might sound a little weird, but this will get your hands used to doing different things. You might even try making up your own Hanon exercises. Take a small group of notes and move it up diatonically. See if you can keep the pattern. This type of practice will help you in an improvisational context when you're trying to develop an idea by moving it through a key center. To wrap this up, Hanon is certainly not what it claims to be. You will not become a virtuoso just practicing Hanon. There's a saying that the technique is in the music, which suggests that you'll get more out of dealing with these technical challenges in the context of the music than just isolating them and practicing them mechanically. This is why classical pianists learn rep rather than running these exercises all day. It's all about being exposed to different kinds of music and lots of different technical challenges in these pieces of music. That being said, Hanon can be useful as a warm-up to get the fingers going, but one should exercise caution against mindless practice. Always find a way to keep it challenging and interesting and stay engaged. So that's all for now. Please like and subscribe, stay tuned for more videos, and as always, happy practicing.